Alright, that's more like it. What up, and what's poppin'? It's your dog Breeze from Fahrenheit 451, part of the Fourth and Goal Network. We're burning the books alive. Back with my best bets in the WNBA for it's the first of the month, September 1st, joined by my special guest, El Brumo. I said joined by my special guest, El Brumo, coming off back-to-back sweeps to end the month of August. Alright? Chicago game starting in 5 minutes. Let's get to those picks first. First up, from the Chicago Sky, Rachel Banham over 7.5 points. Took that at minus 130 odds over at FanDuel. FanDuel has went up on that a point. You can still get that over at Bet365. Same price. Banham, 14 points in her last game where she played 26 minutes. 7, 14, and 14 in her last 3 games when she plays 26 minutes or more. And I also took Rachel Banham for over 1.5 threes, minus 125 odds over at Bet365. She had 10 3-pointers attempted last game, and she's had 4 and 3. She had 10 3-pointers attempted, and she made 4. And she's also covered this line in her last 2 games with 26 minutes or more played. And you know we won't be seeing any Kennedy Carter today. It's going to be the Lindsay Allen and the Rachel Banham show for the guards. They literally have nobody else to score. Next up, in the Sky game, I took Bridget Carlton of the Minnesota Lynx over 3.5 rebounds, minus 118 odds over at FanDuel. She's hit this line in her last 7 out of 10 games, 4, 6, and 7 rebounds in her last 3 games, 4 rebounds in her last game versus Chicago, who allows the 3rd most rebounds in the WNBA. What up, P? Next, I took Asia Wilson over 10.5 rebounds, minus 105 over at Bet365. I took that yesterday. That line has moved, I'm sure. I still love it. I'll take Asia over 12.5 rebounds. She's had 18 and 16 rebounds in her last 2 out of 3 games, 13, 13, and 15 rebounds in her last 3 games versus Phoenix, who allows the most rebounds in the entire WNBA. Let's stay right there. Same game, same type of prop. I took Jackie Young over her 4.5 rebounds, plus 122 odds over at FanDuel. Jackie Young, 6 rebounds in her last game. Jackie Young, 7, 8, and 8 rebounds in her last 3 games versus the Phoenix Mercury, who I just alluded to, allowed the most rebounds in the entire WNBA. Next, from the Phoenix Mercury, I got a heavy lean. I'm not going to make this official just yet, but I got a heavy lean on Natasha Cloud going over her 5.5 assists. It was cheapest you could find it was minus 152 over at DraftKings yesterday. It's probably over 6.5 now, but she's hit that line in her last 7 out of 10 games. 7, 7, and 8 assists in her last 3 games. Natasha Cloud also registering 7, 10, and 3 assists in her last 3 versus what up, Kaden, man? What's going on, man? Wagwan. Tan Beard, man, from Ann Arbor, man. Ace Deuce in the house. What we talking about? Natasha Cloud, 7, 10, and 6 assists in her last 3 games versus the Las Vegas Aces. Next, we have Revenge on the Menu. I'm surprised this line really didn't move much, but then again, you really couldn't. I'm taking Jordan Canada of the Atlanta Dream to go over her 9.5 points. That's minus 130 odds over at Bet365. I believe it's moved to minus 140. Still not too bad. Jordan Canada, if you don't know, played for the Los Angeles Sparks last season, and she got traded for Arie McDonald. So this is going to be her first time facing off against her old squad. And Jordan Canada is going to cook. So, I don't mess with cricket, man. Put me on. Jordan Canada has had 10 points or more in her last 4 games and in her last 7 out of 8. Like I said, revenge is on the menu. We're just going to sit back. We're just going to sit back and cash. I wouldn't mind, her 15 points for plus money, or, 15 points with like 5 assists. Next, it's the Tina portion of the show. Tina Charles of the Atlanta Dream over her 14.5 points. I took that at -142 over at FanDuel. Tina Charles, 28 and 19 points in her last 2 games. The same Tina Charles, appreciate you, Kaden. The same Tina Charles, 21, 18, 21, and 20 points in her last 4 versus the Los Angeles Sparks. Los Angeles Sparks are going to be starting De'Arica Hamby, Rakia Jackson, and Azure Stevens. None of these girls can even like dream about guarding Tina. Maybe the only person that could actually provide some help to guarding Tina will be Lee Yarou off of the bench. So I'm just prepared for barbecue chicken tonight. I absolutely love her 20 points for plus money as well. Definitely ladder spot in my opinion. Just like my next play. Big Tina Charles over 10 rebounds. I got this at -130 odds over at DraftKings. 15, 17, 13, and 17 rebounds in her last 4 out of 5. In her last 2 games versus the Los Angeles Sparks, 14 and 11 rebounds. So I think Big Tina gonna go off tonight. All right. So, in conclusion, the Sky game is probably starting right now. So in that game, I took Rachel Banham for 8 points, Rachel Banham for 2 threes. Couldn't talk you off laddering her threes up to 4. I took Bridget Carlton for 4 rebounds. Heavy lean on Kelsey Mitchell to go over her 20 points. I took Asia Wilson over 11 rebounds. I took Jackie Young over 5 rebounds. Heavy lean on Natasha Cloud to go over her 6 assists. I took Jordan Canada in the revenge spot for 10 points. I took Tina Charles for 15 points. I took Tina Charles for 10 rebounds. And last but not least, I took Alicia Gray for 2 threes, but that's moved to like -170. So I'm not going to give it out. With that being said, Parlays and Builders are already on Twitter. Just at F451, just like YouTube over on Twitter. Like, comment, and subscribe for your daily sports betting videos and analysis. Let's keep burning them. As always, I will see you tomorrow. Peace, love, and fish grease. Let's run some units up.